Good morning. Welcome once again to Charlie Riverman here on Presence of Light. You gotta love the memory. When it goes, it goes. When it's there, it's there. And there's not much we can do about it other than find a moment of humor in it. Today's topic is also a moment of confusion versus optimization. So memory loss or problems is always an issue where it creates confusion. And in this day and age right now, we're dealing with a lot of confusion outside of us. So for those of you who have the effects of COVID long-term memory problems, I'm one of you. And I know that it's not an easy process to all of a sudden have a very uh, powerful brain that you rely on and then have it to be malfunctioning in ways that are um, not so much scary, but just frustrating. Frustrating. And so today's talk is not about COVID, it's involved in the past couple of years of what's created by what's happening to us and around us, and that is confusion and optimization, the two key words here. And I want to say that it's hard to look at life every day and wake up with a sense of not knowing that everything is exactly as it should be, whatever that means for you. And I think this is what we've been going through for the past couple of years is we're not sure. When we're not sure, it's an open gateway for confusion to set in. And when we're forecast from our media and the world around us, many contradicting stories. There's no cohesiveness to the stories. One person says one thing and they change their mind, they do this, they do that. It creates confusion. What do we do for all of us who are dealing with this? How do we accept confusion over a long-term period, which is really what we're looking at now is this: what do we do? What do we do with the confusion that has built up in us, and it seems to be no end in sight? I was at a meeting the other night where the confusion about opening a church for services or not was going to take place again. It had been shut down. It had opened with a new wave of Omicron. They shut it down. They want to open it up again because it's lessening. And in the group was this confusion. And when I stayed silent through this, and when they started talking about all the statistics, which I don't follow anymore, I could see their confusion even in what the media was trying to say to them, and to give them a comfort or a frequency that said it was okay. So this is where we are in the world today, in a state of confusion. my story this morning for this talk was I looked out the window and I was watching the birds feeding at the feeder. And there's a wide variety of birds and squirrels that come to eat. And they all have this sort of communication system where they all work together. They don't necessarily fight with each other. They all share at the sort of holy grail there. And in the distance, in the tree, there was this large hawk. And the large hawk was there in plain view of everyone. And the hawk was watching, I'm sure, the birds in the feeder. And the birds that were going to the feeder, you could see, were wary of the hawk down the street. They knew he was there and they would stop and they would pause before they would go in. And so here was this communication system that's in place where those birds are the hawk's breakfast. And these birds are after the seed for the breakfast. Confusion. Do I go and eat and risk my life? Or do I wait and see what the hawk is going to do and feel into am I safe? Am I not safe? So here we are. Here we are as humans in the same place as the birds are. Each one of us trying to live our lives in a format that is in alignment with being both most beneficial for ourselves and each other. Yet we're on the edge, always looking out for something that might be out of place that will affect who we are and how we live. So the confusion in all of us tends to lead us into fearfulness. And this is the part of the story that when we have fearfulness, we're not thinking in a large scale. We narrow down our focus because we move into what I call protection mode. And it's okay to be in protection mode for short periods of time. The challenge for us as humans is when we're in that for long periods of time. When we think of world wars or we think of wars anywhere where the engagement is over a long time, we realize that there's a very high, deep traumatic stress level for everyone. Not only for the people that are participating in that action, but the people that are being subjected to that action around them. And I look at this as confusion. Once again, we don't know what we can do, what we can't do, what's right, what's wrong. And you can see that's an energy field that is very unstable. I'm always about energy, about the energy of who you are, the spiritual energy of who you are. And when that's disrupted, all of us will do things that we normally wouldn't do because we're unsure. We're not stable. It's like a frequency of music or electromagnetics that is distorted and you don't know where it's coming from or where it's going. It's doing this craziness. When I do my sort of what I call light language here with my hands to music, it's always in rhythm with the flow. So I can even do this while I'm talking to you. And in that, there's a peace, there's a calm, there's an energy that's flowing through me to you, one of sincerity, one of caring, one of concern, one of wonder. But when it's all like this, it's hard to follow. It's distortion. This is where the word optimization comes into. And the word optimization came because my computer, which they all love to throw little monkey wrenches at you and not allow you to get your files or do whatever they do. I have no understanding of their logic. Was not allowing me to get my files. So I went through my programs and there was one that was called optimization. So I pushed it and I said, optimizing. Okay, so what does optimizing means? It means to put it in its proper or best order, in alignment. But it's energy when it's in a computer. We're not talking about humans here. We're talking about zeros and ones and electronics, frequencies, all of these things, because we don't know what really goes on in the computers or how the signals affect them. But we do know that when we come into confusion, when the computer is confused, we have to correct it. Right now, this is where we need optimization as humans. We need correction. And correction doesn't mean to put things into perfection. It just means to adjust the frequencies to a more cohesive, flowing pattern rather than this just frenetic pattern. And that's what I want to share with you today is that it's possible to do that. And it's not only just possible, right now it's becoming imperative. As many of us are not feeling very stable or we're feeling unsure. Our lives are in sort of a storm where we never don't know where the next rainfall or the snow is going to come from or the lightning bolt or the volcano, or we're all in this energy field that is very choppy and erratic. For those of you who are feeling fairly stable in that, bless you. And there are many who do. And that's because you've been able to come back into your heart and stabilize yourself. And this is what the optimization is all about, is how do we change where we're looking at the world around us from? Are we looking at the world from within our heart? Or are we looking at the world from in our head? And this goes along with all my talks about dropping from your head into your heart. That this is a time where each one of us are being asked to let go of the thinking and trusting it as the be all and end all of our existence and start listening deeper to our hearts. The optimization is really about looking within ourselves and saying, what aligns with me that makes me feel calm, that makes me feel peaceful, that makes me feel kind, feeling kindness towards others. And knowing that all of this is relative to how we're going to make it through the next few years. And what are we going to offer to the future generations from our our decision making right now? So it's a big, important role that each of us have in the future of not only humanity, but of Mother Earth as well. The question becomes, how do we optimize our lives? How do we optimize them to move out of the confusion? And how do we co-create a better and more sustainable world without the fearful control or the fear of control of others? When we look at our history, our human history, I don't think the intention was totally negative. I think it was probably made in good, standing, but it got corrupted along the way, like our computer gets corrupted along the way. Without blaming anything, in the computer, I don't know what it is, but we need to come back and optimize it, because what we're seeing in the world right now is that the world is not optimized. It's fragmented. It's fragmented, and we have to hit the defrag button, if you will. You see, the computer is basically an image of what we see around us. And when it goes haywire, it's just reflecting the haywire in ourselves. When it's running smoothly and peacefully and wonderfully and we're happy, this is the same way we live. We're not that different than the computer. I don't like saying that because we are very different. But that's what the computer was designed to be, was to mimic what we do. It has no self-intelligence. It does not create thought, no matter what they tell you. It takes information and gathers it and collects it, much like our brains do, and then it gives it back to you. Where is the heart in this computer? Where is the emotional caring in a computer? Where is the wonder and joy in a computer? It has nothing of its own. It's a machine. And without electricity or power from the sun, it's useless. And so what I want to plant in the seed in all of us is we are not these machines. We were never originally blueprinted to be machines. And yet every one of us in this lifetime now are being used like machines. And we're not aware of it in its totality or its effect on us. But what happens is we need to come back into our hearts, because the brain is the machine part of us. It's the calculator. It's the analyzer. It does everything that the computer does. This is why when we see the world, though, they're going to make this giant computer that will compute blah, 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 and it'll be the largest brain of the world. Does that mean we don't have to think anymore? That it will think for us? And if it's going to think for us, are we going to trust it? Does it know who we are in our hearts? Does it know who we are in our spiritual self? All it is zeros and ones. So I look at the future generations. I look at us and I see the confusion. And I know that the optimization for us is different than it is for the computer. For the computer, it's all just putting things, all the zeros and ones back in alignment with what it thinks it needs to in order to bring it forward. It doesn't care whether it's right or wrong, or if it's true or it's not true. It just wants to put the zeros and ones back into the place they were before it went haywire. We, on the other hand, as humans, need to come back into our hearts and rediscover what love is. Love, not the fairy tale love. Love, not the computer version of love, but the love that contains compassion for each other. The love that requires kindness. The love which teaches us to embrace each other and see ourselves in each other and want the best for that person, because the best for that person reflects the best back on us. That's why I can say I love you to anyone. Even when they spit in my face, even when they ghost me, even when they argue and scream and holler at me, inside my heart, I can say, I love you. My brain, not so much. My brain wants to take all of those zeros and ones that they're throwing at me, and it wants to react. And when my brain overrides my heart with those numbers, those zeros and ones, I act erratically. I act out of survival. I act if somebody is trying to smash my screen and render me useless. Because that's the energetic information I'm receiving from that other person or those people or whatever. And I know now in my experience that when I don't just put up the shield of protection, but I start to respond back in defense, I become just like they are. I have lost who I truly am. And so this is where the confusion is. We forget, we lose track of who we are. We are these beautiful beings who live on earth, who have the power to enable earth to be more beautiful, to be more abundant, rather than stealing and raping and pillaging and killing the trees and sucking the oil out of the earth and polluting the waters and the air. And the sky above us is filled with debris. It's a garbage pit of technology. We now have a rocket that's going to fall into the moon like they do on Earth. We live in a world that we have allowed ourselves to not pay attention to. I want all of you to just deepen into your hearts. Start to care instead of wanting. To not create judgment, but to honestly see what we might be able to change into more positive energy. This is the optimization, is shifting the energy to more positivity. Like I said, take a look around at the negativity that's being blasted at you daily. I've stopped watching the news. I've stopped. Doesn't mean I'm not aware of the news. I cannot not be aware of the news. You can't hide from it unless you go and you disconnect from everything. It's everywhere. It's the distortion. It's the distortion that's feeding illness, that's weakening our immune systems, that's um, creating an excessive amount of pain and suffering for children who don't have the capability of understanding that emotional energy. The other day, I thought about the kids who go to school, and some of their parents are totally anti vax, and some of them are, you know, overly vax. What are those poor children sitting in that classroom, listen to at home, and then have to come face to face with their friends who are just kids like them, who just want to play ball or read poetry or do artwork or whatever it is? They just want to have their life. What are they feeling and thinking when they watch the people that they put their trust in behaving like a haywire computer? It doesn't take much more than saying to yourself, I want to be happy. I want to be free to live my life in balance, in harmony. That's all. Into your heart, say, I just want to live in balance and harmony again. No, it's not going to be perfect. But the imperfection is where we have the ability to be our true selves and realign it until it's as close to perfection, or what we believe perfection is. And perfection is getting along with each other, not denying each other the air that we breathe, not denying each other the food that we eat, not denying each other water and, and shelter from the weather. And we can do this and find ways of doing it without harming and destroying the rest of life around us. It's time to wake up and say, woo, wow, we take a left-hand turn somewhere. We got so far off track. Let's, come back. There's not anybody that isn't aware of this. The problem is we don't think we have any power. The power is right here in your heart. Not here. Just gathers the information, just analyzes it, places it in the little pockets that it's supposed to be in, so that you can retrieve it and use it. And, it's like the cupboard in your kitchen, the refrigerator. If something needs to be chilled, it'll chill it. But if it's nasty and you chill it and you bring it out and thaw it out, you're going to have a whole lot of shit going on. Pardon my English. But this is where confusion versus optimization is. And optimization brings optimism. Because when we optimize something, we put it into a frequency of balance that is now functional. And it is functional in order to create a better flow of energy. So let's optimize our ways of thinking by turning down the volume here and turning up the volume here. You can do this. I know you can, because I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I didn't grow up easy. I grew up on the streets. I was a gang member at 9 years old. I was stealing and fighting and drinking, and I was nasty. I didn't want to be nasty, but I had to be in order to survive. It was survival. You just didn't walk the streets by yourself and feel safe. You knew you weren't safe. You knew that at a certain time of the day, when it started to get dark, where the gang's borderlines were. And you knew that if you were in their territory, when it got dark, you were going to get beat up. Just for being in the wrong place at the right time. Is that not what we're living in right now? I'm sorry. It's like street life all over again. For me, this is what I see. This is my memory. This is the memory. We all have these traumas. What is happening is all of these traumas are being reignited by the behavior of the energy right now. And what we fail to realize, what we've been taught, is that the computers and all of this controls the energies. No, 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 no. Does anything control the energy of the sun? No. If nothing can control the energy of the sun, nothing can control the energy of who you are. Because we are part of all of this. We are part of the earth. We are part of the sun. We are part of the greater universe. Come back. Come back to the power that you have. The power to discern what is best, not just for you, but best for everyone. And then act in the best accord with yourself. We can't keep waiting for somebody else to do this. It's imperative right now that we do it within ourselves. And it doesn't matter how little amount we change or shift or focus. Every single millisecond of rethinking from our hearts is another energy point in the greater field of humanity. And Mother Earth is begging us by showing us what the behavior of us is creating in her. And what she is expressing is the pain and suffering, because it's overwhelming. When you feel overwhelmed, just remember that Mother Earth is feeling that as well. We can change. We can think of the future, of future generations. I don't know if I brought the cards up. I did. After I wrote my show notes, again, we started with the hawk, and here's the animal spirit book of the hawk. I'll read you that. It's watchful, all-seeing messenger of of divinity. So somebody has posted, Penny is, God is in control, praise God. So here is messenger of divinity, the hawk. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. The keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Through it may seem small or though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually direct your course. So the hawk is not the predator we think it is, although it acts as a predator. It's a messenger. That message is when in balance, you see clearly and intuitively. When out of balance, you see too much and become suspicious. We have to shift our perspective from confusion to optimism. These are just random sights and things in every day of our lives that come. They come for me, they will come for you. I pulled 2 Course in Miracles cards together. They came together. I'm going to read the second one first. The second one read, "The end of the world is not its destruction, but its translation into heaven." I'm going to read it again. The end of the world is not its destruction, but its translation into heaven. That happens through us. We are the God beings, if you will, who have the power by shifting and changing from confusion to optimization. We co-create it happening. And the second card was, you cannot be totally committed sometimes. I love that. You cannot be totally committed sometimes. I know many people have told me I need to be committed. That even works there. I can't be committed sometimes. You have to commit me totally. And none of us really want to see more destruction and more suffering. Even the ones who are angry and frustrated, what they're showing is their anger, their pain, and their suffering. Can we raise out of the confusion to be the light that they see the long end of their tunnel? Can we be the light within our own tunnel? Can we make a commitment to listen less and more? It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna be a big party. But when we start to focus on what does my heart feel without falling prey to the pain and the suffering of our hearts, know that beyond that pain and suffering, there's this beauty, there's this passion, there's a wisdom of connectedness. And that's where we need to come back and rejoice as to we can do this. We can do this. Thank you all for being here. I don't usually read the comments as I'm going, but it's important for all of us to. I see many of you are not, yeah, are leaving the news away, and that's and bless you for that. And I say that because it is designed to create distortion, and it always has been. And when they learned that people um, would unconsciously fall prey to that distortion, they knew that they had a weapon that they that could be used to alter people's emotional um, beingness. And in that change and shift of emotion, they can make them angry and act out, or they can, So again, it becomes a control mechanism. And I know from you not listening to a lot of it is you are fully aware of this. This is why it's important for all of us who, whether you listen to me or listen to somebody else, it doesn't matter. I'm just speaking my heart, is to really trust that which you think of as God and what you believe in as truly the most powerful creator force, and know that that creator force, you are an emanation of that. Doesn't matter how you believe or what you believe, just know that energetically and consciously and in a powerful way, you are that light. You are that love. And when you can bring that light and love together in your heart, you begin to radiate peace. It's automatic. And that's when we look around the world, we're not seeing peace anywhere. And that's the reminder when we don't see the peace, we have work to do. Bless you, my beloved peacemakers, my beloved soul sisters and brothers. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. One heart, one love, one humanity, one planet Earth. Amidst millions of stars, galaxies, planets that we can't know of at this moment because we're stuck in what we call time, which is really an illusion to keep us from being who we truly are. The only time we have is right here, right now. And I hope you don't feel like you wasted that time being with me for the past 45 minutes, but I didn't waste my time being here sharing my stories with you. I love you and I thank you. And I know that together, many more of us will meet in other groups and with other people, and we'll begin to, say, oh, that, I know that, I understand that. That's what I was just thinking. Wow, we think alike. Wow, I just thought that the other day. There is a way I can do this. Yeah, why don't we get together and we don't need a big group. we just, a couple of us, go write some letters and send them to children in the hospital or something. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. It's just taking that love and that light within you and finding a way to send it into the world. That's all. Doesn't have to be big. It's how much? 800 million people, 800 million hearts, if they all did a little something? Hmm. Wow. We're not looking for the big flash. We're looking for everybody to come home. Bless you all. Have a wonderful week. It's the last Friday in January, so we start a new month. And may the blessings of February be those of enlightenment and wisdom and kindness from my heart to yours. We'll see you in February. Have a wonderful day, wonderful month, whatever's left of it. Thank you. I love you. See you next Friday.